What was it like being one of the few in the IRA?
Did any of you get any death threats?
Did you ever think it could change?
Today is a cross-community day of theatre witness workshops with Foyle College in Londonderry and the Coláiste Eoghain in Buncrana. So they've come together to experience theatre witness, to learn a little bit about the murals of the city, take part in some creative arts and understand cross-community issues.
All the murals we see here are kind of representing the height of the Troubles. They were painted in the 90s, and basically they were kind of showing important parts of what happened from the 70s, from the early 70s onwards. Certain murals can be quite offensive to some people. Certain people might think ones feel nice or safe or look better, but then also it's trying to tell a story.
I learned a lot of new things today about Derry. Like I learned the meaning of the pictures we went to see.
So you look at there's a bold white section at the bottom. There's these diagonal lines going up and off to the area. That's intentional by the artist to help direct the eye around the painting.
I didn't know much about like other more historical murals, like perhaps the 9-year-old boy in the gas mask.
It's almost like a post-apocalyptic world. Smoke and trouble and police and violence and rubble and everything.
I thought it was very interesting to like learn more about the troubles of Derry, and just kind of history around it was just amazing.
You can definitely see in the murals that they go from sort of quite grim and sort of black and white colours to gradually getting more exciting.
The way that all of them were painted in different ways, that there's modern ones and there's older ones, I think it just kind of represents the different stages of what has happened. So I think that's quite good for the younger generations to learn more.
The past is very important for us as a kind of generation of people in the city, and we should obviously keep looking back and learn from that. But there's a kind of gap now here where we need to kind of move forward. So our idea is to create modern art that's not in any way too tied to any part. We want to make sure it's vibrant for everyone to enjoy it.
I think a lot of people, my students, would come to Derry. When they go to Derry, Derry's the town they go shopping in. Derry's not the town that had a war in it 30 years ago. So now they're walking past places and they're saying, oh well, that's the mural and that mural represents X, Y and Z. So I think the students got to hear living history.
You have a Bible in one hand and a gun in your other hand, and you're told the only way out of this is on a box. It's death or glory. First you're pushed into doing small things like breaking windows. Then it graduates on to more serious things until you're in a position where you can't refuse, or they'll kill you.
What we try to achieve in Theatre Witness is that they learn from lived experience by people who've been affected by the conflict, whether that's ex-combatants, ex-police and victims and survivors, and that they can learn how to understand somebody with a different opinion, somebody with a different background, and how diverse that can be. And that can affect young people in all different kinds of ways. When dealing with new communities coming into their school, if they don't know about their culture and stuff. So this is just an example through the arts about how transformation can happen.
When I was 12 years old, I went out with an 18-year-old. It was wrong, but it didn't feel wrong enough. He showed me a gun when I was 13, and it was exciting. And I thought, I want to be a part of this. I wanted to save Ireland, I wanted to save everybody.
I was looking around whenever we watched the video and I said, like, you could have heard a pin drop in the room. Everybody was so engaged and taken back, and you know what, it's brilliant to actually see and hear from somebody who's actually loved it.
Watching those videos made me feel both more connected and completely realise how completely disconnected I am from those times.
Getting to see like the personal side of these stories was really made me feel quite sympathetic with how you lived your lives.
It made me feel very sad because a lot of my family were in similar situations and I found it really hard to talk about, but I'm kind of relieved that it's changed now and the world's kind of moved past that.
The question in your head that you think, I'm not going to ask that question, is probably the question that you should ask.
What was the most nerve-wracking part of any given weapon or bomb delivery?
So the hardest part was coming to terms with the conversations that were going on in my head and knowing that people could get really hurt and damage could get done and people could die. but I held secrets for years and years and years. And I was afraid to question the questions I had in my head. I was afraid to say things out loud. I did what I was told. I followed what I was supposed to follow. I behaved how they expected me, how anybody expected me to behave. So actually, it was all nerve-wracking because I was never 100% sure that what I was doing was fully right.
I always went into this with the idea of what could I do to stop this sort of stuff happening again, and educating people, not just of your age, but also educating people who are older, educating people from different backgrounds, different communities or whatever. I think once that understanding comes, it decreases the chances of any of that sort of stuff like the Oma bomb happening again.
Did talking about what happened help you feel better about it?
Transformed doesn't even begin to get near it. It has changed my life inside out, upside down. You know, and maybe you can see that we are pretty much enthused by what we do, you know what I mean? When I entered into this process, you know, I was seen by my community as a traitor. Because there he is, you know, if you think about it, coming from where their mental state was, that I am now mixing with Republicans, I am now mixing with police officers. Can I be trusted? Nope. You know, if they're going to kill you, they kill you. You know, all you can hope for is a quick death, you know. Is what you're doing worth it? And it certainly is.
Because we're creating a safe space for shared dialogue where they may have learned about the legacy or the conflict in Northern Ireland or current issues that may be affecting them. They felt comfortable enough and brave enough to ask those challenging questions, and Theatre Witness is about asking those challenging questions.
It was really eye-opening to see the personal points of view from both sides. It really takes away from the whole bigger picture and breaks it down into these were ordinary people living ordinary lives in the midst of all this.
We want to try and create a couple of small ideas for a mural. Any ideas?
The environment and how basically everyone is terrified about the future.
Friendship and...
Friendship?
Yeah.
So maybe making a more inclusive society that everyone feels really welcoming. Do you want to split up into your groups? Grab some paper, grab some pens, grab some markers.
I'm really proud of my students for how they got on. I thought they were asking some excellent questions. For them to avail of this opportunity and to listen to the stories being told. Some of them, I suppose, were a little bit shocked because it wasn't something that they were used to. Conflict to them could be just something that they watch on Netflix or experience at a computer game. But to listen to people who were telling us their stories of their experience with a conflict was just excellent because they paid so much attention to it and they, I think, got so much out of it.
I want to thank you for listening to us, but I feel that with your messages today that we need to be listening to you too.
I'm happy that we got to all try some new things and learn about some stuff that we didn't know.
I feel grateful because I got to meet a lot of new people and hear a lot of new stories.
I also feel grateful because I got to learn more about the history of my city.
It was just an overall great experience.
We are a small piece in a larger picture that's happening across Northern Ireland, but we're at the very grassroots level. We say we like to plant seeds in Theatre Witness, and in all our workshops that's what we do, plant seeds to enable their growth. And you know, we can write up the success of it, but some of the success we'll never know because hopefully they'll take it forward in their lives.